Okay, everybody. Yep, it's me, believe it or not, back again for my post-market wrap-up on this Monday, November 4th, 2019. Now, let's see with the show of hands, how many of you that follow this blog are surprised that the S&P 500 and NASDAQ just closed at new all-time record highs, despite the fact that we got not one, not two, but 3 more rounds of bad economic news. What I want you to understand, and I think you get it already, as long as bad economic news keeps coming, stocks will move higher. The Federal Reserve has promised to backstop this market, and they are, to an unbelievable extent right now. And again, we got calls for lower rates from the president today. I cannot stress to you how this dual combination is massively stock market positive, despite the fact that our economy continues to free fall. So we found out today, durable goods orders falling off of a cliff, factory activity falling off of a cliff, business spending, I want to talk a little more about that, falling off of a cliff. Now, understand, in times of a real booming economy, businesses spend hand over fist to build their businesses so they can acquire more profits. Now, for I don't know how long now, we've been hearing about business spending falling. Well, again, there is another glaring signal that our economy is in free fall, and the stock market will continue higher as long as our economy continues to fall. This morning, the president tweeted, "New record highs for the stock market. Enjoy yourselves." Kind of almost like what he said like the last time, which was just last week. We hit all new record highs, but again, nothing with regard to the not one, not two, but 3 rounds of bad economic news today. Nothing about exploding debts and deficits. Nothing about how the Federal Reserve is pumping this market with hundreds of billions of dollars a day. Zero. So does that tell you something? Of course, you're not supposed to know, because believe me, if you were supposed to know, you would hear about it. It's just hidden, but it's right in your face, in plain sight. So look at the market as kind of like a paradox. The higher stocks go, the worse off our economy actually is. It's an amazing feat that they are pulling off right now. The veil, that's what it is. The charade that's being put in front of people, the obstacles, the look here, the don't look here, the nonsense impeachment inquiry, which is not real. It's just designed to keep you off balance. The fact that the president keeps talking about it should tell you it's not real as well. Look here. Look what they're doing to me. Support me. Again, it's all about division. Keep you divided. We're not allowed to unite. You understand? Because that's our power. If the people were allowed to come together, or allowed themselves to not be programmed into thinking that they must pick a side, we would come together and we would take over the world. Again, this is how the few have conquered the many since time immemorial. It will not stop. I don't think we've been in a more fake environment in the history of the world. And look what they do. I mean, just talk about politics a little bit. The whole Mueller report got everyone polarized and divided. You know, then they let that whole thing play out. And now this thing, same exact thing, this will play out too. What does it do? Keeps you divided so they can conquer you. And unfortunately, legions of people are allowing this to happen to them. Look here. Don't look here. Again, stock market at new record highs, S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Don't pay attention to business spending falling off of a cliff. Durable orders falling off a cliff. Factory activity falling off a cliff. Doesn't matter. As long as the stock market goes up, people believe our economy is strong. It's incredible. But these are the facts. It's a distorted, twisted, disgusting environment we are in. And again, the charade that there's going to be a China trade deal soon, it's imminent, just wait for it, hold your breath. I mean, we've seen this before too. You know, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Now for more than 2 years. Can't make it up if you tried. But look, let's look at a few other assets here. Gold and silver did take a little bit of a hit today. Why? It's risk on. Risk off is going to come at one point. Use this to your advantage. Cryptocurrencies got bid up across the board today. Crude oil caught a bid too that helped push stocks higher. So, people, you know exactly what to do. Could not be more simple for you. I mean, seriously. Anyway, so with that said, I don't think there's much more to talk about today in this video blog. Just understand what you need to do to make this work for you. Understand what you're seeing. Listen to the lies that you're being told, and they're getting larger and larger, and they will get larger and larger. You need to be convinced that stocks only go in one direction. And for now, the right place to be is in this market. There's no doubt about it. If you're a trader, again, what have I been explaining to you? This is the gift that keeps on giving. You pull those profits, you convert that into other assets. All kinds of things. It doesn't just have to be gold or silver or platinum or palladium or even cryptocurrencies. You should be looking into investing in other things. Artwork, musical instruments, I mean, just things. The difference between a person that has wealth and a person that doesn't is they own things. That's it. Most people rent and borrow their way into obscurity and financial ruin. That is not what I want for you. Forget about the debt cycle that they have you stuck in. Not just individual citizens, but nation slaves to the rulers. And who are the rulers? The military-industrial complex. The core of it is the banks. The banks, the financial institutions, are the ruination of the world. And they got us all by the throat, by a stranglehold. The debt-based economic model has made very few unbelievably rich, beyond your wildest dreams rich, while everyone else is forced via this mechanism of the debt-based economic model to continue to push cash up the chain here. And if you really look at politics right now, I mean, let's go back to President Obama. Okay, President Obama really made sure that cash moved higher up the chain. President Trump has taken the reins and also continued the Obama legacy, enriching the one percenters more so than they have ever been before, inflating the debt. Under Obama, he doubled the debt. Under this guy, we're going to double the debt again. Who owns that debt? You do. And you have promised to pay it back. Yes, you have. If you are an American citizen, anyone around the world, the whole world is involved in this Ponzi scheme known as a debt-based economic model. The people of Europe and the people of the United States especially are, well, all nations are slaves to their central banks, and they promise to pay that debt back via IOUs called bonds. It's on your back. You can't get it off. There's no way to forgive it. There's no way to eliminate it. And why? Because the currency in your pocket is directly linked to it. It is these are unbacked liabilities being dispersed by bankrupt governments reliant on their central banks to issue even more debt than we have now. Hence why here in the United States, debts and deficits are ballooning like we have never seen before. Why we have a Federal Reserve involved in a repo scam, in buying everything across the spectrum with regard to the debt market. They're also buying stocks. You know that. So are Mnuchin 6 banks. And what are we hearing? Calls for more debt. Calls for rate suppression, negative. Our president, does this surprise you? Does it shock you? Do you see where we're going with this? And again, not one single Democratic hopeful is going to change this. In fact, it will probably, more than likely, and most definitely will get worse if one of them makes it into the White House. It doesn't matter. This is going to keep going until when? Until it doesn't. And they're going to catch most people. 98% of the people are going to be caught completely off guard when this reverses. But for now, we will play our game as they play theirs. And we'll see who comes out ahead in the end here, people. It's the truth. Anyway, look, time for me to go. I do love all of you. That's the truth. People, we got to come together. We got to come together. I don't know another way to put it. You know, every Friday I leave you off with love each other, care about each other, and be charitable. Well, we need to adopt this, not just on Fridays, but every single day of our lives. Every waking moment, we need to keep thinking that. We got to snap out of the divide that they've thrown us in, the ravine, the crevice that they're squashing us into. We are not each other's enemies. They are. And you know who they are, don't you? Anyway, with that said, I'm out of here. See you in the morning.